What if everything you thought you knew about good, evil, and truth was? Well, maybe not a lie, but a kind of story we tell ourselves.
A story for comfort, perhaps.
Exactly. For centuries, we've wrestled with these big ideas, often just accepting them. But imagine a world where good is just convenient, evil, a misunderstanding, and truth. Well, something we construct.
That's not science fiction. That's the challenging vision of Friedrich Nietzsche.
And that's who we're diving into today. Nietzsche, a philosopher who really took apart the human soul, his ideas still hit hard, maybe even harder now in 2025.
Absolutely. Our mission today, really, is to grapple with his most vital insights, to help you think about what it means to be human when the old certainties, the old comforts, are fading.
It's like an invitation, isn't it, to look right into the abyss and maybe find some light there?
Precisely. How do you create meaning when the universe doesn't just hand it to you? That's the core question.
Okay, let's jump in. Nietzsche diagnosed this deep existential crisis, and it feels incredibly relevant right now. It starts with probably his most famous line, or infamous, maybe.
Right. The God is dead declaration.
Right.
It's striking because he puts it in the mouth of a madman in the gay science.
God is dead. God remains dead. And we killed him.
Exactly. And the key thing here is it's not like a cheer for atheism. It's more like a cry of, well, both horror and liberation.
Horror and liberation. So it wasn't just about, religious figures.
Not at all. The death of God for Nietzsche symbolized the collapse of the entire system of meaning, the ultimate source of value that had anchored Western civilization for millennia.
The whole structure that sort of protected us from emptiness.
Yes, without that divine oversight, without the promise of heaven or cosmic justice, what's left? Nietzsche paints this picture of cosmic silence and infinite nothingness.
That's where the madman asks, are we not incessantly falling?
Right? Forward, backward, sideways, in every direction. That feeling of free fall, of being completely unmoored when those big stories, those grand narratives lose their grip, that's the modern existential crisis he saw coming.
So with that foundation gone, Nietzsche forces us to look at the ruins, and he argues our moral compass, this basic idea of good and evil.
Yeah,
It wasn't given to us from on high.
not at all. He digs deep in his genealogy of morals, and his finding is, well, pretty explosive.
Which is
He suggests our morality, what we call good, things like pity, humility, compassion, was actually forged in the fire of resentment and weakness.
resentment, weakness. How so?
He argues is basically the revenge of the weak against the strong. Those who couldn't assert power directly found another way.
So this herd morality, as he calls it comes from people who couldn't be strong themselves, so they turned weakness into a virtue.
That's the core of it. They labeled the qualities of the strong power, creativity, life affirmation as evil. And they elevated their own situation, suffering, humility, obedience, as good.
He says, the slave rebellion in morality begins when resentment itself becomes creative and generates values.
Exactly. It's this inversion,
Yeah.
a kind of poisonous revaluing. And it forces you, the listener, to ask some really uncomfortable questions.
Like,
Like, how much of what you consider virtuous is maybe just a shield? A fear of living fully? Is your morality a kind of comfortable cage, keeping you from the dizziness of real freedom?
that makes you think about today, doesn't it? How do modern social norms still shape what we see as good or bad? Can you see parallels?
Oh, absolutely. You could look at, say, aspects of online discourse, sometimes, collective outrage, this drive for conformity.
Yeah.
Well, a Nietzschean might ask, is this always about genuine ethics? Or is it sometimes the herd using moral language to enforce conformity, to punish those who stand out, who seem too strong or too individual? It prompts a hard look at our own motivations when we join a moral crusade.
Okay, so morality is deconstructed. But Nietzsche didn't stop there, did he? He went after something even more fundamental.
He did. Truth itself,
Yeah.
capital T truth.
And what was his take?
Just as radical, he basically said, there are no eternal facts, just as there are no absolute truths.
Wow. So what is truth then for him?
It's perspective, interpretation. And
Yeah.
what shapes our perspective, our interpretation, he called it the will to power.
Ah, the will to power. That sounds aggressive.
It's often misunderstood that way. It's not just about dominating others. It's more fundamental. It's this inner drive in everything to grow, to overcome, to assert itself, to create, to impose his perspective on the world. It's the drive to become more, to affirm life, even the struggle.
Okay, so no absolute truth, only perspectives shaped by this will to power. This sounds incredibly relevant today with all the talk about post-truth and conflicting news feeds.
Totally. And for Nietzsche, this was both freeing and pretty dangerous.
How so? Freeing and dangerous.
Well, it's liberating because it frees us from rigid dogmas, right?
Yeah.
Allows for new ways of thinking, but it's dangerous because, well, if there's no objective ground, what do we stand on?
How do we navigate anything? How do you even know what's real in the news you read online if it's all just perspective?
Exactly. It leaves us without a safe harbor. And that's the challenge he throws down to you, the listener. How do you sift through it all? How do you discern the will behind the truth being presented?
So if there's no absolute truth to find, what's the alternative? What did Nietzsche suggest we do?
We have to become creators, not just passive consumers of truth, but active makers of meaning and value.
He has that line, doesn't he? Convictions are more dangerous enemies of truth than lies.
Yes, because clinging to a conviction, an unexamined belief, means you stop questioning, you stop evaluating, interpreting, creating.
So living in this world of perspectives means, what, being like an artist?
In a way, yes. Accepting the maybe solitude of the artist. You don't just copy the world, you generate your understanding, your values from your own unique viewpoint.
Okay, so we've got the death of God, morality turned upside down, truth revealed as perspective. This leads us right into the heart of nihilism, right? The sense that nothing really matters anymore.
Precisely. The feeling that the highest values have lost their value.
Yeah.
And yeah, many people faced with that might despair. Well, they might just grab onto new idols.
It's like what? The state, science, the market, social media likes.
All of those, potentially. Anything that offers a ready-made meaning. But Nietzsche points another way, a much harder path. Steeper, lonelier. The overcoming of the human, as we currently are. The path towards the Übermensch.
The Übermensch, often translated as Superman, which causes all sorts of problems.
Huge problems. It's crucial to understand this isn't about superheroes, and it's absolutely not about some master race or totalitarian figure, which was a horrible Nazi distortion.
So what is the Übermensch then? The beyond man?
He is presented as the potential within humanity, the meaning of the earth, Zarathustra says. He's the answer to that nihilistic void.
Okay, so what does that mean for you, the listener, practically speaking? How does one strive towards being this beyond man?
It means that when you realize the old values are gone, the external props are removed. You don't just collapse in mourning. You embrace the freedom. The terrifying freedom, maybe, to create your own values.
That sounds incredibly demanding.
It is. Remember Zarathustra's image? Man is a rope stretched between the animal and the beyond a rope over an abyss.
Crossing that rope is dangerous.
Extremely. But Nietzsche suggests it's the only crossing worth making. The Übermensch is the one who says a profound yes to life. All of it. The joy, the pain, the beauty, the ugliness.
This ties into his famous phrase, that which does not kill me makes me stronger.
Exactly. It's about embracing difficulty, not shrinking from it. Moving beyond what society tells you to value, beyond peer pressure, and forging your own sense of purpose, your own meaning, even knowing the universe doesn't inherently care.
And we have to remember, Nietzsche wasn't just theorizing in an armchair, was he?
Not at all. This philosophy came out of intense personal suffering, chronic illness, crushing loneliness. He knew the abyss firsthand.
Which makes his call to strength even more potent, somehow.
It does. And it raises the question for all of us. How do you find that strength, that intellectual honesty, especially when things are tough?
What was his answer?
He gives us that incredible image. One must have chaos within oneself to give birth to a dancing star.
So embrace the chaos. Don't run from the internal struggle.
Yes. See it as the raw material for creation. His own work, you could argue, is that dancing star, born from the darkness of his own life. It suggests that your unique struggles, your chaos, are precisely what can fuel your most authentic self-creation.
Fast forward to 2025. Nietzsche feels, well, electric right now.
Doesn't he? We're living through this time of collapsing certainties, polarized narratives, this widespread search for something real, something meaningful.
His work feels like a direct challenge to just passively scrolling through feeds, accepting ready-made opinions from politicians or influencers.
Absolutely. It's a call to wake up from the herd mentality, to question vigorously.
Yeah.
But more than that, it's a call to radical responsibility.
What do you mean radical responsibility?
It comes down to his reinterpretation of that old Socratic idea. Become what you are.
Okay, but what does that mean in a Nietzschean context?
It's not about finding some fixed, hidden essence inside you. No, it's about sculpting yourself actively, consciously, being the poet, the artist of your own life. It's a continuous act of creation.
That takes real courage, though, to question everything, to live without those old props, those comforting beliefs.
Immense courage. It means accepting deep discomfort,
Yeah.
choosing the harder path of self-examination over the easy path of conformity.
It sounds like learning to live on the edge.
Exactly. Learning to dance on the edge of the abyss, as he might say,
Uh,
to laugh even when things seem absurd, and crucially, to practice what he called amor fati.
Amor fati, love of fate.
Yes, not just accepting your life, but loving it. Everything, the good, the bad, the painful, the joyful. Looking at your existence right now, this moment, and saying, yes, I want this, again and again, eternally.
Wow, that's a powerful stance.
It is. And that's his enduring relevance, I think. This call to critical thought, yes, but also to take responsibility for your own life, in your personal development, how you engage with the world, even art and politics. To embrace the whole messy, difficult, beautiful package of existence.
So we've journeyed pretty far today. Beyond good and evil, beyond truth as we usually think of it. We've seen Nietzsche tear down old structures.
But not just to leave ruins.
Right. Not as an end, but as a beginning. A liberation. An invitation, really, to step up and create our own values, find our own meaning. It's unsettling for sure, but also incredibly empowering when you think about it.
Definitely. And the real power of Nietzsche, I find, isn't that he gives you neat answers. He doesn't hand you a new rule book or a new God.
What does he give you then?
He gives you better questions, sharper tools, and the maybe terrifying responsibility to become, in a sense, the God of your own world of meaning.
So a final thought for you, the listener, to take away from this deep dive.
Maybe this. What if embracing that discomfort, the unease of questioning everything you thought you knew? What if that's the key? What if that's precisely how you unlock your potential to live a truly authentic life, to sculpt yourself into that unique dancing star, born from your own personal chaos?